Good morning, everyone. This is the obligatory race check-in video to see what exactly is my kit. I'm going to share with you what I'm planning on for race day. As you see here, this is the bike, including the bike nutrition. I'll explain a little bit what that extra bottle is there for. My swim stuff, and then also over to this side, my running gear that I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to first start off with the swim. Right now the water temperature is 24.2 degrees centigrade. Outside here it's curtained a little bit, but the weather is supposed to be fantastic on race day. It's cloudy in the beginning, but it's expected to be sunny a little bit later today, and I think that's going to raise the water temperature a little bit. It did rain yesterday evening, but this is going to be borderline wetsuit legal, wetsuit illegal, but I am going without a wetsuit for this race. Yes, you heard me right. I am not going to wear a wetsuit for this race, mainly because when the water temperature is on that borderline, and I usually like to have cooler swims as opposed to warmer swims in. And plus, having a wetsuit on with me, even if I did have a wetsuit, it would be the sleeveless version, and I really don't like chafing on the neck. And when I swim freeform, I don't chafe. So this is part of the strategy here, and I am going to basically go like a professional and not swim with a wetsuit. I have instead a swim skin, which is going to be critical. And taking this out of the way, I've got two sets of goggles. This set is actually my practice set, and that's assuming it's going to be cloudy. I don't think that's going to be the case. So I've got my second pair here, which I need to do a full rinse out of the interior lens. And why I've got the baby shampoo is I pretty much apply shampoo on the inside of the goggles, a rinse out with a little bit of plain water, and that's good defog for about an hour and a half. So that's my strategy for the swim. Going easy, it's probably going to be a little bit more than an hour because I am going without a wetsuit, but I'm going to be taking my time and not going to push an agenda. So that leaves me to the bike, and this is where I've still got a few decisions to make over the next hour, but as you can see, here is all my fuel. I'm wearing TR9 shoes, or TR901s, excuse me. The helmet. So I am not, and I repeat, I am not going to have a visor. And you might ask, well, won't there be an aerodynamic penalty with that? Yes, there will, but because it's going to be hot on race day, as you can see, I'm going to have this fully vented, and I'm going to be wearing my sunglasses just like this. So I'm basically doing a Sam Long, and going to do a very similar setup for him in terms of what will happen on the bike. This bottle that you see here, that's going to store additional gels. So I do plan to make a stop right around the mile 80 marker just to make sure I've got my fuel in me. I've got to swap out some of the nutrition from my bags, or at least from what I'm going to be carrying. This is going to be in my bike bag. I'm going to double apply that chamois cream while I'm in T1 to make sure that I'm all chamoised up to, of course, the sensitive areas. 2 bottles. Right now, it's probably only going to end up being 1 because I am going to be using nutrition as well as hydration that's on the bike course. So that'll be water bottles mainly. I am going to use an electrolyte. I haven't thought about which noon to go and take for the electrolyte, but that's kind of going to be basically on a race day decision. But to explain a little bit more, actually, I'm also going to be wearing calf sleeves. This is going to be worn with me in the bike as well as the run. So they're going to be on with me the entirety of the time. I am required to have my race bib. It's number 240 if you haven't already. This race bib is going to be required for me to be worn on all times in the bike and the run. So that's the bike essentially. And to talk a little bit about race nutrition. So in the beginning, I'm going to be taking caffeinated gels. right off the gate here. I may even take these 2 extra gels with me because I know that in T1, that is, simply because nutrition is going to be absolutely critical here. This beta fuel is going to be a very interesting option. I'm going to have this entirety of the bag here. So there, I believe, is about 45 grams of carbohydrate just with these, this alone. Then I've got my bonk breakers, which are my protein and additional carbohydrate source for those that are very curious. The peanut butter and jelly ones, these have 260 calories each with 36 grams of carbohydrate and 8 grams of protein. I won't need too much protein as I'm going a little bit easier. And then I'm also going to need to bring out my scissors, which are right over here. So what'll happen in race day, pre-race day routine is I'm gonna open these up just a little bit so that I can go and open these nutrition packs much more easily rather than trying to rip it out there on race day. It's a pro tip, so if you want to go and make nutritional intake a little easier, try to slit it just before the opening, and it's so much easier to rip it open. So there you go, that's your bike. And now I get to the run portion. The run is going to be a very simple one. The body glide is going to be absolutely important here. I'm going to be, of course, literally applying this all over my place, my body, as well as onto my tri clothing to the best that I can. I may need to strip a little bit more than I would like to, but hey, I've got to protect myself, and it's going to be a very difficult day. So this is a new addition to the race kit. I actually bought this when I was in Japan, and I'm finding that this is turning out to be better than I thought. So what'll happen here is I'm able to store all of my nutrition in here. Yes. In fact, I was actually trialing this. This can fit 8 gels. This actually is expandable, which is nice. And if there are water bottles, like simple bottles on the course, then I can carry water with me, which is amazing. What's not pictured on here is I'm probably going to have some electrolyte gummies in T2 to fuel up a little bit before I start running. I'm going to be wearing the 2021 edition of the Team Zoot hat, not the 2022 edition, simply because it's going to be hot out there. I want to have white on the top of my head rather than black, aka I want to be remaining a little bit more cool as opposed to hot. And I have broken in these Hoka Bondi X's, which are relatively new to me for racing this year. They've helped me in many situations. These are great in terms of they have a carbon back plating on the bottom. And then you might also ask, well, what about the sock choices? So this is going to be based off of what is going to be happening on race day. My gut feeling is I'm going to be going with these right here. These are the most breathable of the 3 of these. This is if I'm feeling like I need a little bit more cushioning, and this is more just for fashion and show. So I might just end up putting these away. So it'll end up just being 2 pairs of socks. So that's my run, and I'm going to check in all my run stuff as it's required for me earlier or a little bit later this morning or early afternoon when I check my red as well as my blue bags in. And then there you go. I'll have a video, separate video as it relates to my race strategy later today. But I just wanted to give this update to share with you what my general nutrition is, as well as going into the Ironman with the bike, as well as the run, and even some bits with a swim. And aside from, one other thing, so race kit. I think people probably already know, but it's going to, of course, be a Zoot tri-suit here. I have 2 of these. Of course, I'm probably only going to need 1 on race day. I'm going to break out. I've broken into both of these. These do not, how would I say? These do not break as easily as the ones I had last year, so that's always a good thing. I'm also going to remember to bring this, which is part of the morning clothes bag, which I will not talk about here, mainly because this video is already getting really long. But I'm going to be, of course, wearing my Zoot tri-suit. I had thought about maybe I want to just ride bike clothes in the morning, but I'm deciding, you know what, it's going to be a little bit faster in transition, and I already know that I'm already taking forever in transition anyways. So there we go. That's an update for the race. I will have probably about, my goal is to have about 1,600 to 1,700 calories on the bike course, and then having gels every 30 minutes. So I'm anticipating 4 hours on the run, so it's every 30 to 35, but I'm also going to have some Gatorade, so I'm anticipating around 50 to 60 grams of carbohydrate an hour on the run. So as you can see, I have 7 gels here, which is more than plenty enough. A gel every 30 minutes will mean that I will be able to cover the run in about 4 hours, which is my goal time. But of course, stuff can happen, so I don't know how that's going to go, but again, you just have to sometimes go on feel. There you have it. That's my nutrition as well as my gear. I'll talk a little bit about race strategy in a little bit in the next video. So until then, stay safe out there, and if you like the content of this video, as always, go and hit that thumbs up button for me, and hit that subscribe button as well, and hit the bell notification for other videos that I go and post. And until then, I'll see you on race day.